washed, dried-ish, sorted. It's been, I mean, I love most of my used lots except for the ones relatively recently, but these two bags, I'm not going to say I regret not picking up more, because I don't, because, you know, I have enough, but I'm glad I got these two. And after the sorts, we're just going to go into really now. I mean, the bread is not much to write home about. Shush. Not too many basic brick, but you know, stuff like this, which come in handy every so often. So red, and of course, this when you have 24 bags and you only buy two, you only have sometimes only one of these, and the other one's probably in the rest of it. Some tan, oh, some green in the tan. Green tan. I like tan. I always like tan bricks since they came out. Old, mostly. Well, there are some new dark blay. 3, 4. None of them are light. Get out of here. Overall, that can go there. Overall, for the most part, old dark gray, and I'm looking because I did it sorting out in the other room, and it's pretty dark out there, and so I'm looking at it now, and there's some dark blay in there, but when I sort them into the respective bins, but that's a good chunk of old dark gray, especially for as I mentioned, insectoids and other themes in here, but mostly insectoids. So that is also not germane in this situation. Okay, so I'll worry about that later. So that's red, dark gray, tan. Blue. There's more blue than any other color, which is surprising because black usually wins out in all these used lots that are, you know, 70s to 90s. Black usually takes the cake. But the black is pretty close, and I say that. Black is pretty close, but there is more blue in this collection than there is black, which is possibly subconsciously why I bought the 2 bags. I mentioned that, mentioned these, lots of these. So blue is going to be a very much welcome, fantastic addition to fill in some of the gaps. And again, possibly a robot command center, because this thing also reminds me of a robot command center. But I think I have it, and refreshing these, because I did run extremely low on these. So the fact that I got more in here, like I count at least 3 right here, and an original window, because I ran low on these too. So I'm gonna sort that into the collection for sure. I have more additions to the tower I want to try. Some friends have inspired me again, because I talked about the other restaurant level-ish whatever, and I'm gonna probably do it. So white. Okay, can't complain about that, and I can't complain about that, and I can't complain about these. And wing plates, I think there was a deep freeze defender in the lot, but I have very scant few pieces. A lot of wing plates actually, which is nice. A lot of tails. So, because I think there was a Galaxy Commander in here as well, but there's if I bought all 24, or I can't remember, it's 20 or 24, but if I bought all, maybe, but again, I couldn't. $400, no thanks. Gray, there's some blay in there, but overall, gray, fantastic. Gray, fantastic. Come on, it's the bane of using these things. You go reach for it, it goes right down to the bottom. I do run low on these, not in all the colors, but light gray especially. Landing pads, because I just broke one the other day. And I mentioned, that's not it, but I mentioned I got a 1x2 with handles, old school. It's in here somewhere. You know, maybe there was a Starfleet Voyager in here, maybe not. So that's gray, yellow, Again, I think this is from some sort of Aquazone kind of thing. I know this definitely from Aquazone-ish, whatever. But we're okay, we have to find it. More Aquazone parts. And this guy, so I bought one of these from Shop at Home back when they're deep discount. So I keep on meaning to rebuild it. I don't know if I bought, I did not buy two because I only have two of the underwater crater plate thingies over there, the high-rise one, and the underwater paint job. So I know I only bought one, but it was a cool set. So and this is the miscellaneous green and dark red and orange and I guess brown, and you know, the odds and sods, as they say, Bionicle parts, which will just get filed away. Although I keep on trying to say to myself, I should, because I got 2 full totes over there at least, should start sorting out these alternate colors from my perspective, alternate colors than the 5 originals basically. I should start sorting those out because we might want to build other stuff. The fan. So we get into the trans colored pieces. Again, Galaxy Commander, Starfleet Voyager, Galaxy Commander, more probably Galaxy Commander. This guy came in lots and lots of sets, and I think there was there's 1, 2 trans yellow of these, which again goes back to Robot Command Center. So I can't complain about that. An orange one of these, trans orange, not neon orange, but trans orange. I actually don't have a clue. I could probably look it up pretty quick, but my computer's off. Trans orange. This guy, I'm not sure if this is exactly how it's built. I don't know. I just love that. 2 of these, which could have been a variety of different sets, but I think I want to say, I don't know if it was Futuron or just the end of Classics phase when you had that 3-part white and trans dark blue piece. I think that I bought it that new in the store, and I can't remember what I said during my review of it, but just remembering now when I had it, it was cute. It wasn't great, but it was cute. It has some really cool pieces in it, I'm gonna say that. And as I mentioned, the Deep Freeze Defender and the Deep Freeze Defender, and as well as other sets. Insectoids, if I remember correctly, and could be anything from a variety of different sets. So I'm not going to complain about the trans pieces in here. I am absolutely not going to complain at all. So put those away. Oh yeah, and a Bionicle mask. I would not know which one, but it looks like almost the original series. Maybe, I don't know. I never kept track. I remember when Bionicle first came out, I bought the blue one. I thought the blue one was cool. I couldn't remember the name of it. I saw the Mask of Light. I can't remember. There's 2 movies. I have them both on DVD. I don't know if I still have them because we took a lot of our DVDs to Valley Village, but I had to keep some important ones like The West Wing. The West Wing and Sports Night, Sorkin's best. Battlestar Galactica seasons 1 through 4, although I have duplicate of season 3.5. I don't know how that happened, and not 3.0, if I remember correctly. I have 2 of one and 0 of the other for that one season that came in 2 parts, which is very odd, because I don't remember doing that. I remember having both seasons, so I don't know how that happened. Printed parts, printed parts, Egyptian. I should actually look this up to see if I can. I've never built this series theme at all. Explorers, maybe, I can't remember. Ubiquitous back in the day. Again, I think we get back to Aquazone and or whatever Aquanauts. I think this is the Pirates and or whatever the Colonial Fleet. I can't remember Colonial Fleet. UFO and UFO. So Harry Potter, obviously. Insectoids, 4 or 5 mini wings of insectoids, which is kind of cool. 2 windsurfing sails, police sticker. So we got some maps from the Egyptian stuff, more maps from the Egyptian stuff, more spacey stuff, and wait for it, more spacey stuff, right out there. I don't think I'm gonna build another RoboForce. More Egyptian, more spacey stuff, and more spacey stuff, and more spacey stuff, more spacey stuff, not spacey stuff. Pirates, pirates. We're here too. Really old classic space, really old classic space. And again, I think either Robot Command Center or other things, but there's the originals, and I don't know what that's doing in there. It should be over there. Aquazone, if I recall correctly, or whatever that theme is. I won't remember. Maybe Aquazone. I can't remember. I don't think it was in Classic Space or any of the Space series, but the yellow one, because I don't even think they used this in Blacktron. Maybe they did. I don't remember. So, so that is cool for the printed parts. Lots of them across the board, across the gambit of various themes. Although again, no time cruisers. You want to know something? I've been collecting for a gabillion years. No, I think I have about 7 or 8 Timmys in there. If I recall it, the kid's name is Timmy. That goes there. But I don't. I mean, I could probably reconstitute some time cruisers. I'm not going to. And I come over here. Now, you might remember that I was reconstituting a Ice Planet set, and I ran out of these skis, and here's a ski. So, okay, only one. And Sharky's gonna bite your ear off. Deep cut. Sharky. Leave my ear alone. Poor Rancor. I don't know if anybody out there in the world besides me will remember reading Return of the Jedi. I had all the books from the various movies, and like even the Last Starfighter. I watched the Last Starfighter in the theater, and of course I bought the paperback. I did it from Star Wars to Return of the Jedi. I bought a few. 2001, obviously, because that came out way before the movie. Did Back to the Future actually have a paperback version back then? I cannot remember, but if there was, I probably read it. But I remember reading Return of the Jedi, and I remember the one line out of that entire book that sticks in my head is when the door came down, crashed the Rancor's head, Luke escapes, and the Rancor's owner was crying. Remember the scene? He was like in the movie, but in the book, and it was like in the final line said, "Poor Rancor," which it came across by the guy crying in the movie. So it was his pet. 2 tires. See, again, my very good and dear friend sent me them for $15.93, but I said, normally when I get used lots, I will find the parts that I need, because of course the use it's like serendipity. No, as of course these are the lots I'm looking for. So it's pretty easy to find the lots that you're looking for, find the parts and the lots you're looking for. 2 magnets. Again, I probably from Insectoids, the Android base, if I remember correctly, had some magnets on the big legs that came out. So that's cool. I like magnets. Not too much else with the minifigs. Oh my goodness, I should go to bed. This girl right here, really cool. And then we have, if I remember correctly, we have not Classic Space. That's Classic Space, and I might be able to do that right now to this guy, not a smiley face, and the yellow Lego guy. The problem with my yellow minifigs is, I do have legs. Let's reach back there. I thought I wouldn't have legs. So there's yellow, and then no helmets, and no just regular smiley faces, which is usually in a lot like this, you get the smiley faces, but there are literally none. So I'm going to put those over there for a second, and I'm going to, this guy's already got it backpack, but I got a whole bin of parts somewhere. Oh, come on, really? This is sadly disappointing to me, because I just had them a couple weeks ago, and I don't know what I did with them. Well, that's going to put an end to this really quick. I was going to reconstitute these guys. but let's just do everything besides that, shall we say. I got a whole bag of regular happy faces, but some of them are really old. Any one that I found that wasn't being used, I put in here. So, oh, but here's a nice one. So look at that, smiley happy face. Happy people. Happy people. I'm gonna put that gun there. I'm gonna find some black legs. My leg bin, which is, wow, I gotta reorganize this room. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Shiny happy people. This is my black leg bin, and if there's colors besides black, then it's the waist has to be black and goes in that bag. That's how I do it. Because there's gonna be other, well, that should be there. Oh, maybe I was wrong because there's yellow. I am a mystery. Oh, look at that. Why is this guy in here? That guy shouldn't even be in here. Benny's garage, whatever. So that's an interesting alien. Why isn't this guy in the layout? That's a really cool one. I'm gonna put it in the layout. It's amazing in my world how I keep on meeting darn. So from what I was told in the making of the Lego movie, when they said, "Hey, Liam Neeson, can you do the voice of good cop, bad cop?" I think he stipulated that yes, he would do that as long as he gets to do it in one take, so that he doesn't just do the bad cop voice and then set up for the good cop voice. He wanted to do both at the same time when he's in the same scene. And so there was a hello, darn. And I'm going, if that's the case, or he did that in one take when he became good cop and bad cop, I'm going, that's just awesome. It's just a little piece of trivia that I think I got correct, but again, I could be wrong. Oh, and here's Nemeth. He hasn't walked away yet. I should go through this stuff more often and just cry about this Ninja. About all this stuff that I have sitting here that I just don't seem to. Oh, because I did say to myself so many years ago that I felt like, because I got bins and bins of torsos and legs and stuff like that, and I said I really should reconstitute them back into the original minifigs, and yet that never seems to happen because it's just an overwhelming thing to do. So it's not there, it's not there, it is not anywhere. I cannot find. I'm just gonna stand up for a sec. Oh, again, right in front of me. So we can reconstitute these guys. So this is gonna be fun. So I'm looking for, I don't think I'm gonna put, no, I thought I wasn't gonna, no, it's not black helmet. Oh, big news, just in case those people out there who don't know this and haven't paid attention. Spaceballs 2 is in the works. and the rumor mill has it that Rick Moranis is going to reprise his role as Dark Helmet. And I'll tell you something, I can't wait. And it would be really, really awesome if Tim Roth shows up. He was Commander Tuvok in Voyager, but he's one of the space heads that was out combing the desert. And of course, he always talks about this in all his interviews because out of his entire movie career and TV career and whatever, he is most known for, I ain't found shit. We ain't found shit. And I didn't even know that was Tim. I had no idea because I've seen Spaceballs a million times. It is one of my comfort movies that I will watch anytime. John Candy is just being John Candy and one of my favorite people ever in Canadian. And the whole movie, like, there's this, I don't know what to call it. My parents were born in the 40s. So they grew up with Rita Hayworth and Gary Cooper and all those big stars from the Clark Gable. One of my dad's favorite movies is Robin Hood, the 1939 version with Earl Flynn, Olivia de Havilland. One of my favorite movies too, because we watched it all the time when we were kids. And then as I grew up, as a kid, Sally Kellerman and oh my goodness, Dustin Hoffman back in the day, like the generation after the originals, the ones that I grew up in, Dennis Hopper, blah, 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 all those people that showed up in the 60s and went into the 70s. So we had the original movies. Barbara Stanwyck is one of my favorite actresses of all time. Ball of Fire still lives rent-free in my head as a fantastic, fun movie. You know, and I do talk about how I hate Citizen Kane, but I've seen it a million times. I love the old-timey movies, but I also love the 60s and 70s movies where the good ones, I mean, Easy Rider and blah, 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 but when these actors, these young up-and-comers were so, like John Wayne, of course, one of my favorite actors, blah, blah. But anyway, so I grew up through the 70s, and then I'm watching Late Night, I'm watching Carson, I'm watching when he goes off on vacation and Joan Rivers takes over. And a lot of people have a hate relationship with Joan Rivers. I found her to be funny as a kid, and I found her to be funny as an adult, and it's the same jokes. It was funny as a kid who didn't understand the double entendres, but she was still funny because she was just self-deprecating and just whatever. And as an adult, I thought she was brilliant and she knew who she was. She absolutely knew who she was, and she knew how she was portrayed, and she owned the role of her. I can almost guarantee, and I don't know her personally, I can almost guarantee her private life was nothing like her public persona. I can almost guarantee it. She just put on this, with her makeup, this public persona. And I love Joan Rivers. I absolutely love Joan Rivers. And even though a lot of her stuff was hit and miss as I got older, but I still adored her for she just threw it against the wall. There was no apologies from this girl. She just, here I am, I'm gonna say this, and you like it or you don't like it, and I don't care. So, and lived for it. And so when she shows up as Dot Matrix, it was funny. And Daphne Zwanger, I think her last name is, not necessarily part of the Rat Pack, but and Mel Brooks movies. I mean, Blazing, like all of them. It's just, I can't remember one I didn't like right now, but Spaceballs is just fantastic, and I'm looking forward to it. Joan Rivers is sadly gone. Obviously, I don't know if they're going to make any kind of reference to Dot Matrix. I have no idea. Like, I have no idea if they're going to get the entire cast who are still alive. Bill Pullman from Independence Day and everything else. But John Candy's gone, and Joan Rivers is gone, and you know, it's going to be an interesting movie. I think without Bill Pullman in it, like, you're just getting Rick Moranis and like who else? Like the big names. Like John's gone, Bill Pullman's still here, Dot Matrix is gone, Daphne I think is still around. I don't know. Dick Van Patten's gone, the dad, of course, and of course he was old back then. He was in 8 Is Enough, one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. So I'm looking forward to it. The second I heard it today, I'm already looking forward to this movie. And again, I'm hoping it's not like an April Fool's joke. That's in June. But yellow guy's reconstituted. Black guy is not, because I do not have a helmet. I do not have a helmet at all. But here's a temporary helmet. This again came in a lot. So I want to see this movie because I love the first one, and I'm almost guaranteed that I'm gonna love the second one because it's my kind of humor. It is absolutely my kind of humor. He's like Blazing Saddles is just something else. Blazing Saddles, I think it's his best. You couldn't put that on TV today. You just couldn't. Anywho, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to possibly start sorting the stuff into the respective bins and go on from there, and by reconstituting as much as possible. 2 minifigs. I may make an order. I don't know how much they are. I may make an order for black space helmets. I do know the black is quote unquote one of the rarest minifigs because it hasn't been reissued as yet, and it came in a scant few sets. I do not know the sets, the differential or the total of sets that can contain a black minifig, excuse me, versus a blue minifig, because my blue minifigs are pretty scarce too. But actually, yeah, I still, that's a Betty. You have to watch out. I do not have a blue minifig over there. They're all in the layout. So all my blue minifigs are in the layout, and all my black minifigs, besides this new guy, are in the layout. Whereas red, white, and yellow originals, I have, I mean, of course I got this one here that I just made, but I have this guy here, and I have a few over there, a few whites, a few reds, and that's it. I don't have any black, blue, black or blue minifigs. And I got lots of, oh wait, I got this guy. I don't know if, let's do this. So this guy's original, but he has, I think he was in the layout inside a building. But we go here, we got the tank, and then we have an original helmet, a Benny helmet. Let's see, no, that's a bit, there's the original helmet, yay! That is a broken one, like a Benny broken one, that's good. Good. Benny helmet. I can't believe how many Benny helmets I got in here. Good. Good. Oh, that's Benny. That's a Benny. That's a Benny. So you can see I got a whole bunch of blue tanks in here, so that means that these guys are inside the buildings with hairpiece on them. So look at all these Benny's helmets. And they're actually Benny helmets, not actually broken helmets. And this is the one thing I thought was ironic about the Lego movie. I have a bag full, and I promised somebody, but I forgot I promised them to, but I have a bag full of red and white helmets with broken chin strap, like actual broken chin straps. Now, I didn't break any of mine that I remember back in the day, but I have lots of red and white ones that are broken, lots of them. I had absolutely no blue minifig, space minifig helmets broken. None, zero. So when they came out with the Benny in the movie, he should have been red or white for me to appreciate the joke, really, because the blue guys never, I think the blue guys all had, well, that one's not as thick. I'm gonna say there's a difference between, this is probably from 1984, though you can see how thin the chin strap is versus this one, which is much thicker. Like it's not twice as thick, but it's thicker. Oh, I'm looking at, those are the same, are they? This one's thicker. There we go. The two ones that we can compare. So this one's thin. This one's, you can see the thicker. This one is thicker. Because I don't know if it was 1984, 1985 when they made them thicker, because the blue guy showed up in 1984 and the Space Dart, which is Jake Thomas in the movie, the Lego movie. Because he's the only blue space guy I had back then. And then Dark Dude was the only black minifig I had back then. So, actually, no, I had a few black minifigs. Though I only had one blue minifig. I had 3 or 4 black minifigs. But all these guys are Benny helmets. So I don't know how I got that many Benny helmets. They have the fake broken chin strap. You can see the broken chin strap there. But I'm looking through these guys and I don't have any, because I take all my broken helmets out and I put them in a bag for somebody who I cannot, again, remember. Obviously the orange guys are brand new, but obviously I have an orange guy in the building. So all of these helmets and tanks were from people that are inside the buildings. And it took them apart and gave them hair. So that's kind of interesting. Oh wait, here's a broken one. I must have just got that one. It's like a really bad broken one. It's like missing. So whatever, it's not gonna go back in there. Maybe I could find my other bag at the time. And again, I don't know how many gray ones I have. It makes me cry by thinking about it. That's also a broken one, white one. So I was lying. I don't know if these guys got broken later, but I just got lazy. This was one of my favorite helmets when it came out in the CMFs, the pink classic Space Girl, which I adored. And I only got like 2 copies of her, but I have that and a tank. That's a broken mud one. Yeah, these guys snuck in here. Somebody snuck in here and put these things in here. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So I'm going to reconstitute. I meant to read that. I can reconstitute this guy back into blue space guy. So take off the hair, put on the Scooby tank. It'll always be Scuba tank even though you're in space. So Scooby tank and blue space guy. Yay! So I reconstituted him today. Over there, I'm gonna find my bag with those parts. It's somewhere on my shelf behind me. I do not know where. All my Boba Fett's. Why I even bother? Oh, here it is. So, no, that's not it. That's just it. I will find it at some point when I'm searching for other stuff. But that's fine. CLD. Yeah, so I can go back up there. There it is. 31 minutes. I'm gonna keep it short-ish. 31 minutes short. That's it. That's all. I had fun. This is a fantastic lot for me. I'm gonna keep on looking for those over the various places. And as I say, I am drastically reducing my buying of used lots because even these 5 or 6 bags that I bought that I thought were cool and I'm opening them up and they're not cool. They're not. I mean, it's Lego, but I just get tired of sorting, and that's all I've been doing for a while, sorting. So yeah, that's gonna slow down. I'm gonna try to clean up this room in other ways and get it organized and just put everything back where it's supposed to and get rid of the overflow. So I do have a spot under my desk now that had all these stacks of bins that I've now sorted out into their respective containers. So I have more room under my desk to store other stuff that's over there on the floor. And I do have to fill up a tote and put it back in the garage because all the bags are over there of the various sets I reconstituted. I also do have to get ready for Brickomania because I do want to bring stuff to sell. And to get rid of. So to me, it's going to be an actual garage sale, not a garage sale to make money on, but to not have them when I come back here, because I got a whole bunch of like dozens of bags here, baggies, Ziplocs, of all the overflow parts that I have, all the modified bricks and modified plates that does not fit into the collection anymore. And that's my purpose now, because if a roll gets full in one of my containers, then everything goes to the overflow, and then that gets gone, because I don't need 500 1x2 black plates with handles. I don't need that many. I fill up a row and that's good enough for me for the rest of my life. I don't see now, because I was exhausted. Sorry, at the 33-minute mark talk about this. I was not exhausted, but I was tired. I actually got pretty much in the zone. So the tiredest part of the last couple weeks for me, physically tired, was setting up at NMA North. And I think that's because I hadn't done it in a long time. And it is quite the walk from the parking lot to our setup zone, because you have to walk this way to the main entrance where they'll let you in, and to walk all the way back that way across 3 or 4 halls to get to the far side to where we were supposed to set up. So that's that. But the thing's on dollies and whatever, it's on my dolly. But then unloading it and helping other people and whatever. I was pretty much tired that day. Oh, was it Friday? I think it was Friday. Friday at noon. And so the rest of the day, I kind of just sat there and talked to people and sat in my chair and talked to the audience when they started showing up at 5 o'clock. Taking down, Josh was helpful. I'm going to say that. Thanks, Josh. And I don't remember it being too bad. I was concerned slightly, although I shouldn't be, because it's never happened. I was concerned because there was going to be a time when there's going to be boxes over there and people are going to be over here, either getting a van or whatever, and those boxes would be left unattended, because by the time I take the layout down, there's nobody from Tauranga left in the building. Now, I'm going to say this clearly for all people to hear. I did tell them to go. They asked, do you want us to stay? And I said, I still got another hour of taking down. So what would they do for an hour? Well, I'm taking this down so they can wash my boxes for like 10 minutes while I go get the van. And thankfully Josh was there, because what this is the good part now that he's 16 and, you know, strong as an ox, is that I brought the first load to the van, and I left them at the layout where the boxes where the layout was, and then I had already pulled the van around, and I brought boxes to the van, and I brought the cart back, and he said, Dad, I'll bring the rest. And I'm going, wow, this is new. And so I went back to the van, and then he kept on bringing the boxes 2 or 3 trips, and I just had to load them into the van, which, good on you, kid. So there was that. So that was fun. And then it just sat in the garage for a couple weeks, from May until now, June, which I took like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, when I took it over to the brick shack. Now the brick shack should be exhausting because it's very cramped, because I have to build it against the wall, because there's not a lot of room on the floor to set the thing up with room to walk all the way around it. So basically the layout is against, the one side of the layout is against one wall of the store, and the back of the layout is basically against the front of the store, which is a big garage door. And that's where the layout is. There's like 8 inches between the garage door and the layout. So I had to squeeze through there all the time. Actually, it's probably 12 inches because I was pulling stuff up. And of course, the layout, the buildings are in the boxes underneath the layout, so I have to crawl a little bit underneath, because the garage door is there. I have to crawl and then open the door and, you know, pull out the parts and pieces. I had thought originally, because I did this last year, that I would pull the layout well away from the wall and then put the whole thing together and push it back towards the wall. But I thought, then you're moving it. And the one time the layout actually moved after it was set up was at Bricks in the Six last year. And I wish we caught it on video because it was awesome. Because again, the way I made the bed rail frame is that on each end you can pick up the wood and you lift up the entire layout. Now we had 4 or 5 people lifting up the layout because we had to move it over 2 or 3 feet. But the whole thing is set up, the whole tower, and then we had to move it slowly over 2 or 3 feet. And then so people were lifting the layout over, and then some people had to move the boxes over. I loved it. And they were like, oh, it's gonna fall. If it falls, it would have been funny. I wish we would caught in video, but nothing happened. so that's good. But I remember that, and of course, but there was a dozen people there to help me. Moving it at the brick shack, I could have probably just pushed it across the floor, but I wouldn't have trusted that. So I built it the same way I did last time. I left 12 inches against the garage door, and I could squeeze through, and then, but I thought that would be exhausting, because I remember the first time I did it last year was exhausting, but it was talking to Jamie and talking to customers and talking to whoever. I really enjoyed setting that up. Now taking it down in a couple weeks in July, probably close to the end of July, I'm gonna take my time again, and it'll probably most of it hopefully after hours, because it's just easier. It's just honestly because then I have floor space to put everything out there, and then start taking it down. Other than that, I'm hearing it's good. I was going to go this weekend, but on Saturday we're in Tillsonburg at the Turtle Fest. I'm bringing my moving art thing for display, and so that's Tillsonburg, and then maybe Sunday we'll go over, but Sunday is Father's Day, but we'll see what happens. I do want to check on it more this year, and I do want to add more stuff that I have sitting here into the layout, because I do feel a little bad that nothing is, well, I only got 2 monorails moving, or 1 monorail and 1 train moving, and I want to get them all moving because it looks better when everything's moving, but we'll see. But this is going to be sorted into the layout. I mean, this is going to be sorted into the collection. I'm going to start that. I'm not going to bore you with the videos on that one unless I come across something interesting. And then I'm going to start taking care of the rest of the stuff. I'm going to take the bin Omega block back to Value Village and get a 20% off coupon, and all the other bags that I may go through them again. I might dump them out so they're all in one big happy bag. I don't know yet, but I don't want to bore you with that either because I find it pretty boring now just because I was disappointed. So that's it. That's all. I'm going to, I just find more minifigs on my desk than they were before. This thing is staying on my desk now. I adore this thing. I mentioned that before. I absolutely love that thing. It's right there. So that's it. That's all. You guys all stay safe. Take care. And I will talk to you soon.